things that be able to teach you tonight or this afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll go from there. I've been with the Genealogy Society for many years, and I've learned a hard way. I've spent many, many hours running into brick walls, and hopefully what I'll show you this evening, you'll be able to accomplish the tasks that you're set out to do more productively. The title that I have here is Idiosyncrasies of the Slovenian Genealogy. The strange things, the odd things that happen in it. And they're really not unknown. They're there. But when you put them all together, as I'll do for you this evening, it might be a little bit easier to remember. We're dealing with matricula. What is matricula? It's the digitized database of birth, marriage, and death records. In the middle 1700s, King Joseph II of the Habsburg monarchy ordered the priests to begin keeping these records I'd already said in the middle 1700s. I believe he did this for all of the countries, because I've noticed in the Slovak, it's basically the same thing. They're online just recently. They're a product of the Catholic Church. When our founder, Al Petterlin, started the SGI in 1986, the first thing he did was contact the archives in Slovenia to try to get these things put online. And it's taken these many years, just a couple of years ago, that they did come online. So we're very thankful for that. There are 3 languages used in these, the material that you're going to be dealing with. Latin, since the beginning of the records, until the middle 1700s. And I should say, in some cases, there are records that go back to the 1500s in some books, but that it isn't common because they just didn't have to keep them at that time. But the first ones in Latin will be written in the context of a paragraph. And so those are the more difficult ones to deal with. In the German, then, I've explained that a little bit, and then the Slovenian goes with the next slide. What are the 5 things you have to know before you access, at least in my mind, that you have to know? You have to know the archive that you're dealing with. Which Catholic archive? You need to know the parish. When we in America think of a parish in the Catholic Church, we think of a church, one church. But in Slovenia, they use a parish as we would use the diocese here. You'll see it as a diocese. You'll see it as called the Fara. But the Slovenian name for it, Župnija, is the one that I'll be using throughout here, so that you'll know that I'm talking about the actual getting the correct Župnija for the town where your family is located. The next thing you need to know is the surname and the given name of the person that you're researching, the birth date, and the birthplace. So, what do you need to know about Slovenia? You need to know the geography and the regions. You should know the location of the 3 Catholic archives. And then I'll delve a little bit into the history of Slovenia so that you can understand some things that you may have run into and you don't have an answer for at this point. This is the map of Slovenia, and you'll notice that it's actually, they call it the rooster, with this being the head and the body and the feet down here. I've drawn the lines showing you the 3 archive areas that where your records will be held. The first one is on the left here, and then the middle, and then the largest one on the right-hand side. I've also mentioned to you here the names of the regions during the times that we will be dealing with that you'll be dealing with the actual research that you're doing, but with Primorska, Gorenska, Notranska, Dolenska, and actually Bela Krajina is included in the records with Dolenska, and Steyerska, and again you have Koroška that's in the same records here, as well as Prekmurje. But these are the regions of Slovenia that you'll be dealing with, And then let me see, going down here one more time to there. The brief history, the brief outline of the history of Slovenia. You're saying, why do I need to know this? Well, I'll tell you in the next slide. But right now, the Habsburgs took control of our area in the late 13th century until the end of the First World War. After that, and that was all considered Austria. In 1918 and 1919, the area after the war was known as the State of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs. From 1919 to 29, the Kingdom of the Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. 1929 to 1945, the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. And then 1948 to 1990, the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. But in 1991, for the first time in history, except for 2 years, I believe, back in the 1200s, we have become our own country. We are the Republic of Slovenia, finally. So why do you need to know that? Because, nope, that's the wrong slide. So I need to go backwards here. That's not the right slide that I'm looking for either. Yes, not at all. No, that's the one I want. Okay, thank you, Nick. People come into our research center and they'll say, I'm Slovenian. I'm sure I'm Slovenian, but this says that that my family's from Austria. And someone else will say, oh, but mine says Italy. It could even be Croatia, Carniola, Hungary, Krain. And I put the information here on Krain. This is the German name for Slovenia. This is Kran. This is a city in Slovenia, but don't get the two mixed up when you're doing your research. Then came the Kingdom of the Serbs and Slovaks and Slovenes, Yugoslavia. You might see in some of the ship's manifests that you look at, they're from Upper Carniola, Inner Carniola, or Lower Carniola. Or they could be from Carinthia, but they're never going to be from Slovenia because Slovenia was not a country. So that's Slovenia was the ethnicity on the ship's manifest. It shows through as the ethnicity, but not the name of the country. So I hope that clears up some of the things. The next thing you need to know about is the surname, the given and the surnames of people. And the one thing there is the Slovenian alphabet and then the spelling. You go to the next slide. Yep. Come on. Oh, I'm not really good at this, but we'll try. Okay. Okay. Know that the Slovenian alphabet has basically the same letters as our alphabet. We have 26 letters. Slovenia has 25. But they don't have a Q, a W, an X, or a Y. But they have added separate letters for the C, S, and Z with that little, it's a strežica, but it's a hat check or whatever you want to call it, the check mark above the letter. So the C without a check mark is just a S sound, like in sight. So if you're looking at the word cat, C-A-T, it would not be pronounced, or it would not be spelled with a C. It would be spelled with a K. C with a hat check on it is a ch, like in church. S is the same as the word I have there is same. And the S with the hat check is sh, then show. The Z is in zero, and the zh, I couldn't find a word other than a Slovenian word, žal, but it could be also akin to the word pleasure, like such as that. So you have to know if your family's names begin with a C, an S, or a Z, that if you don't know if that hat check is there, you have to look in both letters of the alphabet, the C letters and the C with the hat check, the S with the S, the plain S, and the S with the other. This is something that I think would be interesting for you to know. The spelling of the names. We say John, but their John can be Johannes, Johann, Jan, Ivana, and Giovanni. Why Giovanni? That's an Italian name. Well, it's because at the time this particular person was born, that part of Slovenia was under the auspices of the Italian government. So you have that throughout from about the 1920s till the middle of the Second World War, 1943, that you will see Italian names for your Slovenian people. Joan can be Ivana, Ivanka, Giovanna, Ivica, Frank, Franz, Francesek, France, and so forth. And one that we run into a lot is Agnes. Agnes can be Neja or Neshka. Mary, that one's pretty normal. Joseph is good except for Giuseppe, which would be the Italian. If your relative's name was Gertrude, you might see it written as Jera, Jera. Tony is pretty well Antonius, Anton, Tone, Tons. But Teresa is another one. In Slovenian, it's Teresia, but it can also be Reza or Rose. So know that in some cases, you're not going to see John like we know, John or Joan or Frank. It's going to be these Slovenian names, and they can be spelled differently. In fact, they can be spelled differently in different places of the records too. So, okay, the next slide will be in the structure of surnames. In Kuho and surnames ending with the L, oftentimes you have the J added, not oftentimes, but in Slovenia, they add the J to it. But in American, it would be Kuhel, Kuhel. I'm sorry, these are close to each other. They shouldn't be. Zupancic, look how it's spelled this is during the times of when the Germans had the control of Slovenia. It's more or less Zupancic, just like it sounds. The same with Jakšić. It can be Jakšić or Jakšić. Schneiderschietz, I always like this one. Schneiderschietz, you can see, and that will be your name. And you're going to say it's not the same name, but it is. So be aware when you find that your name's spelled totally different, try to spell it out phonetically. Zitnik becomes Shishnitschkir, whatever it is. But I have seen these in the records, so just know that in the structure of the Slovenian surnames, they can be spelled differently from what you know them today. What do you need to know about place names before accessing the matricula? Place names are the names of the villages and towns. Identical names, spelling, German place names, and identifying your parish or the župnija. With identical names, just so you have an idea, Kal, the little village of Kal, has 21 Kals in Slovenia. It's the same as our having Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland, Tennessee, Cleveland, Florida. It's just names that are duplicated. Laze, 30 of them. If your folks were from St. Maria, there are 60 of them. So, and in Vr, you have 52, Tratnik 12, Sola, Ursela 18, and Planina 14. You say, well, how do I know which one belongs to my family? One way that I figured this out in my own mind was if your relatives, when they came to America, were married in Slovenia, you can almost always guarantee that these, and you know, well, let me put it this way. If you know the place where the husband was born, but the wife was born in, say Svete Maria, you could go to where the husband was born and then just look around to see if there are villages in that area by the name of Svete Maria. In other words, they couldn't travel much when they where they lived in the 1800s, 1700s. So very often it's easy to find it that way. But be aware that there are many, many names for the same, that by the same name for the towns and the villages in Slovenia. German place names for Slovenian towns and villages. in, I would say, most of the history of Slovenia, the Germans' names were what they used. In Postojna, the name was Adelsberg. In Novo Mesto, it was Rudolfswörth, and so forth on down the lane here, down the list. But how do you find out? There's a way that you can find out by just going to Googling this German name and asking what town was named is currently in Slovenia, and through Wikipedia. Or at the research center, we have almost a complete list of all the names of the German names. And on your ship's manifest is where you'll find this, where your relatives will say they were from Rudolfswörth. Well, how do you know where that is? You don't know. So it's a German name, and that we can find these names for you if you have difficulty doing that. Be aware of the spelling of the towns. In this case, I'd like to bring your attention to this name of a town is Dobrava, but the name of a town also is Dobrave, Spodnia Bella, Spodnia Bello, Svete Jure, Šent Jure. You must have the absolute correct spelling of the word. You'll find this, sometimes they'll say on the ship's manifest, where were they from? And they'll have it written out. And sometimes you can't tell whether it's an A or an E. And when you go to look for it, you think it's an A, so that's what you do. But check the atlas or wherever you're finding the name of the village, and it might be the E in this case. The same thing with Sela, Sele, and Selo. These are all different towns. So you have to know which one you're looking for. Chernivir, there are, I think, 16 or 18 of those. Luckily, on some cases, and in my case, it's Chernivir nad Pohogradas should be on here. It's telling you that it's near a bigger town of Pohogradas, and I forgot to put the Gradas on here in case you're wondering, where's Gradas? What's she talking about? Okay, Hras pri Vinici. So this one is also near. The small village is nearer the big town. Nas Sutli and Potok Za. So between Za, Nad, Na, and Tri, and I think there are a few others that I've seen. It just means that this small little village is closest to this town. So that's what you would be looking for when you go to find this part right here. This will be the hardest part for you to find, the location of the parish or the župnia. In some cases, and I think on our website, it speaks to the občina that the villages are in. And when you go to look for this parish, the best place to go would be to start with our website. And I've shown you some of the directions to follow there. But the župnia is the church record. The občina are government records. And remember that the matricula is a church book, church-oriented book. So you will always be looking for the župnia. In some cases, that village will be in the correct občina, but it could be in a different župnia. And I'm not sure that this is available for you to see on our website. What you can do is you can call us at our phone number. I'll give you that at the end. Or also go to the research request on our website and ask us to find the župnia for a specific village that you can't find on your own. It will be a difficult thing to do. You could probably go on Facebook to our website or our Facebook page and put it in there. Maybe somebody else would know, but a phone call or a research request from us. We have all of the župnias for all of Ljubljana archive and all of the Maribor archives. We do not have them for the Koper archives at this point. So you would have to just write to the archives itself, and they would have to find that for you. Okay, moving along here. On abbreviations, just as a hint to you, for those of you who don't know, in Slovenian, maybe worldwide, I'm not sure, they write an abbreviated date differently than what we do here in America. Here in Slovenia, they will put the day first, then the month, then the year. In other words, this is the 24th of June, 2024. In America, we would put the, no, I wanted to show you this one too. This one is the 8th of August, 2025, or October, I'm sorry. What do I do here? I go to this one? Yeah, okay. You have the 8th of October, and I would suggest that you look at the English one now, and we say the month here first, June 24th, and October the 8th. So it's backwards. But when you do your work in Slovenian genealogy, my suggestion is that you write the name or the date with the 24th, the first three letters of the month, and 2024. If you use the what would I say here? The 8th of October, 2025, and you wrote it 10/8, you wouldn't know whether you're talking about October 1st or the 8th first. So it's just easier to, and I've found, to keep your date this way. So these little forums we're having, they're not supposed to last very long. In other words, I'm not supposed to be talking that much, or whoever gives these forums. They're just little things that are on one particular area. But going from the unknown to the known, now with the matricula, you should be able to make your life a little bit easier if you can remember some of these things that I've told you this evening about the geography, the regions, the archives, the history, the country of origin that your family is really from, the given surnames, the alphabet, how that can mix you up, and the spelling, the identical names of place names, spelling, German place names, parishes, the suggested format that I've given you. And I hope that these will be some things that you will put into practice. The best way to get in touch with us, use the research request form on our SGSI website, or go to on our SGSI website, or just give us a call. Leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So at this point, if you have questions on some things that maybe weren't clear to you, or whatever else, please go ahead and what do you do with them, Nick?
Yes. Thank you, Rosemary, for putting together this form. At this time, just a reminder, everybody, this will appear on the website. The recording will appear on the website. And if you guys do have questions, put them in the chat, and Rosemary will be able to get to your questions here right now. So at this time, if you guys do have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. Maybe I play some polka music while we wait.
I'm sorry?
I can play some polka music while we wait.
Well, you can if you like, just not too loud.
Just play a little bit of polka music, because I know we all like polka music on this call while we wait, because I'm sure there'll be some people here with questions. You're online. Here you go, Grandma.
Grandma. I wasn't going to tell you that this Nick is my grandson, right? But we'll put this up here. Okay. Hi, Tom. Thank you for your question. Oh, you'd say I don't have a question, but I have two recommendations. There's a great website to search for given names that show variations across different languages. Okay, good. And I do want to tell you that on our website itself, you have a myriad of links to different websites and different places where you can find things. And what I've tried to give you tonight is just the short way to get to some of the things. But go, okay, is there online access for land records? There is, and it's called the cadastral maps that you're looking for. There's a special place on our website where you can follow the directions and you can see the property. That's what you're asking for, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And the next question, it was from Tom. So, hi, Tom. I think it was Tom. The other site is from the Slovenian government. It shows the current and given and surnames found in Slovenia. Okay. Jean, nice to have you join us. Can you show what the site looks like when opened? The site for the cadastral maps, if that's, I can't show it to you right now, but you can go on our website and go under the trees, tools, I think it starts with tools. And you can go on there and follow through with it. Any others? Oh, you were able to get it? No, because I would have to get into it and I don't have my logins stuff with me tonight. So um, just go back to where we were. But that's a good idea. I know you can do that now. So good. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I have one status on Imarum. There's a website where I can find more of these. To my knowledge, no. The status animatums are not official records. They were kept by the priest in the sense of a census. And if you let us know the Jupnia of the people that you're looking for, we have the book that tells for the Ljubljana archives all the status animatums that they have. And the status animatums are, if you go to Slovenia, you can go to the archives and request to see if that there would be status animatums for your area. They give a wealth of information, the whole history of the family, the name of the house. Know that all Slovenians, at least in the olden days, they named their house. And it was under my understanding that it was mainly by the person who built the home, but there's another treatise of it on our website that gives you a much better explanation than that. But it is a very good resource. I'll probably be having some kind of a short session on the status animatum to show everybody what they look like. Okay, are birth records of a person born in 1920 available online? In some cases, they are. Know that in Slovenia and I think the rest of Europe, these kinds of records do not become available to the public unless they are 100 years old. And in some cases, they're not available because they're in a book that might start with 1917, and there's room in the book for a lot more years. So the archives don't have them, but you can always ask when you email the archives. You can ask if they have the records because it may not show online at this point. Okay, Rich Zabo, is there a resource for translating old? I knew this question was going to come up. The old cursive Slovenian writing we can hire for transcription and translation. Yes, I can email that information to you. We do have Dr. Lapina from Canada who does this, but she does charge a very small fee to do it. I think you can put these online, and what do I want to say here? You put them online, and there may be somebody that may help you that way too. Okay, Jim. Hi, Jim. I'm glad you're looking at this with us. The house numbers still mystify me. Know that every house, when it was built, especially in the villages, it was given a house number chronologically. But that didn't mean that it was on the same street or on the same lone road. The house number 1 could be in the valley, and the house number 2 could be on the side of the beginning of a big hill or a mountain. And when you look at when you go into the matricula, you will see the house number is given all the time. And that number has been good to use until 1954, when the government in Slovenia decided they would change all the house numbers in Slovenia. And when they did this, they didn't make a record of what was old and what was new. In some cases, we have the old and the new numbers for anybody who's from the Cerknica Lake area of Slovenia and south of there. Dr. Kebe, a priest, wrote 2 wonderful books giving a lot of the history of the people who lived in the houses. And he has the old number of the house, and then in parentheses, he has the new number of the house. So that would be the only help that I know. Otherwise, you basically have to go to the village and find it. Don't think that you're going to go to Instant Street View and you see how your house number is number 14, and you see number 14 on this road or the street, that's your house. I can almost guarantee you it is not. What? Status animatum? Okay, and so they can see it, but I can't see it. Well, it's not a very good one, but you can see here. Let me have the pointer. You can see that the house name or the names are over here, and it usually gives the father's name first and then the mother's name and the date of birth of these people. This is an older form, and it usually asks. I don't recall what these 3 things are here. And what's that? I don't see that. No, go down a little bit. We're open with is under, okay, when they were married and when they died. And what it does, it will list all the children born during this time over here. And then it will go down here with that child. If the child, as he grew, he got married and who he married, and it's a whole thing. So it's a wonderful thing to have. And as I said, this is an older form that I'm not that used to looking at, but it will give you the names, and it will tell you when people died. And if you see a cross by anybody's name, that means that they have passed away. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Yeah. Yeah. Nati is birth and copulus is the marriage, and the other one I forget. Okay. Okay, Nadia, please explain what status. Well, it's go. Okay. Okay. Please explain what status animatum means. It's status animatum means. It means the status of the family, I guess you can say. It's like a census, just like we have a census every 10 years or whatever it is. It's just a record of all the people that were born in the same house, in the same village, with the same house number. Okay, Mary Eva O'Neill for understanding matricula and something there I don't see. With translation, joined Slovenian Genealogy 2000 on Facebook. You can do that. Yes, this group has helped me enormously. Okay, and a message. Oh, who can see your message? Oh, I don't know what's going on here, Nick. Okay. I'm descendants of Gochir grandparents and wonder about finding Slovenian records. The Gochirs actually have their own genealogy society. I don't know the address or right offhand, but they do have their own. And for the rest of you who don't know what Gochir means, in the 1300s, the Habsburg monarchy sent different colonies of their German people around the outskirts of their holdings so that they could keep a record or see what's going on with other countries and coming in to their own country. So you have this Gochir settlement in Slovenia, almost directly south of Ljubljana, called Kočevje. And it's here that the German people have lived, and many of them have intermarried at that point for over 600 years. But when Hitler came, he gave the lower part of Slovenia, like if you would just go straight from Trieste across to Ljubljana, he gave that to Italy. And in the Second World War, when Hitler was in charge, he ordered all of his 100% German people to be moved from that area of Slovenia up to in the area of the Maribor area. And they took the homes of the people that the Germans had sent on to, Germany to be slave labor and put into concentration camps. Yes, so those are who the Gochir people are. If they were not 100% German, though, they did not, to my knowledge and from what I've read, they did not ask them to leave. Okay, next question. I'm going to spend a number of months in Ljubljana. Do you know who I could contact at the university to hire a university student as a part-time research assistant? I would say just do that when you get there. I don't know of any particular system that they have to do that. I wish you luck. That's great that you're going to spend time there. Terry, I'll be traveling to Slovenia next March. Where is the best place to start? I would suggest that you just go and Google on the internet interesting places to see. It depends what you're looking for. Most people like to go to Bled. They like to see Postojna caves. They like to what else? Go to the sea. So it just depends what you want to do. Hi, it's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Just letting you know that since obtaining information about my great-grandfather from the church, I have hit a small wall about his mom. Oh, dear. Besides church records, how might I find her trail? Oh, Tracy, I would guess maybe they do have civil records, but I'm not that acquainted with the civil records that are kept there. We'll talk about it when I can talk to you individually. And there's John Stolick. Hi, John. How are you? There's a great genealogy site for Europe, but I can't find the link right now. It's given me possible names back to the 1500s all over Europe. Oh, really? Leave it there. Go back to that. A genealogy site for all of Europe. I guess we'd have to talk about that. I don't know anything. I don't know what you should be looking for. What's that? GeniaNet? Is that what you're talking about? I can find a link. I don't know, John. We'll just have to talk about that and see where you're going with it. Okay? Okay. Rich, back to you. Do you have any recommendations for the general history of Slovenia? I would just say on Wikipedia, they have the history of Slovenia, especially how it changed hands over the many hundreds of years. You have to remember, too, that we're looking for the records that are like 600, 700, 800 years old. And you're not going to find the writing that you think you should have and the reading and the looking at everything the way that you think it should be. It's just not that way. I mean, the alphabet's different. The town names are the same. It's just a lot of things that are different when you do all of this work. Any other, and let's see, from Catherine, what's that? I've found great-grandparents and census records and some church records through Family Search. Yes. Okay. Family Search is the website that the Mormons have. It's a free website and it's very good. I don't know that I haven't gone there to see what they have as far as the matricula is concerned. I don't think they would have what the matricula has. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't think so. With matricula, you have the official record of the birth and marriage and death rates of the people. It's official for the government as well as the church. And even when we go to the church or the archives in Ljubljana, I always thought their main job was doing research for genealogy purposes. But here they tell us that that's only about 25% of their work, that they work mostly with the government and finding different records for maybe land records, that kind of thing. Who owns the property, and because maybe the government wants to put a road through that property, something like that. But just know that the matricula has the correct dates. And I would caution you too, when you go to look at things like other people's pedigree charts or on the internet, you can't be sure that the information they're giving you is 100% correct. In most cases, it's not. Also know that when you're looking at your grandparents' birth records, it's not the same day that you think is her birth date. Know that a lot of the Slovenian people did not take their birth rate as their birth rate. They took their their baptismal date. In my own case, my grandmother we always thought her birthday was September 8th, and it ended up really being September 4th. But that's just something that you learn along the way. Oh, okay. Oh, here. From Pat and Kimberly Harmon. Thank you. Family Search Community can help with translations. That's good. And is there a website for that, or you just find it? You just go online and Google to get it. Do you want to go back to and go the other way? Yeah, I've answered these already. There's John and Richard, Catherine. Yeah. Okay. FamilySearch.org in Salt Lake City has a large East Southern Europe department. I visited in person last year, very helpful. Okay, Rich again, is there a good write-up available regarding the Slovenian border area near Italy, including Puka? Yes, can't remember the exact name of the region. That is the Primorska area. If you're talking about close to the sea, that's the Puka that I know, but there may be other Pukas that are actually in Slovenia. I don't know that. Is there a write-up? Go back to that. A write-up available regarding the Slovenian border area near Italy. A good write-up. Not to my knowledge. I think it would depend upon the time period you're asking for. You have to remember that part of Slovenia was given to Italy after the Second World War. Some was given before. It's very complicated. Again, you can go to the Wikipedia and ask for the history of Slovenia, and you'll see all of the treaties and the things that they signed throughout the hundreds of years. It's sort of hard just to remember that all. Okay. I don't know though. Pepka's Struggle. Oh, okay. I know what that is. Yes. Pepka's Struggle is a book that was written by, I don't recall who at the moment, but it was like an autobiography of her life, and she lived in that area. But that, I don't know that it would give you, what was the question again regarding the border area near Italy? I know that we get requests. In fact, we had the I can't read that. Okay, it's written by Josephine Janesik. It's a biographical novel, so it's a historical novel as such of her journeys. Okay. The oh, I lost my train of thought there. I can't remember the exact name of the region. Oh, I know. We had a person on our trip with us know that we do take a group of people every year to Slovenia to find their families. And this year it will be September the 16th through the 27th of September. And we had a family way up in the mountains in Italy, but that area had once been Slovenia. And we had our first experience with trying to find, and we did find the family there. So that was good. And we've done several in the area of Trieste. And we had our first one with people, Slovenians being born in what's now Croatia. And so that one created a little bit more of a challenge, but I believe we did find some of the beginnings of that person's background. Okay, on to the next one. John found it. GeniaNet. Okay, that's what Nick showed me. Okay, and Nick included that in the chat for you to find the records that are on GeniaNet. But I know that's a data or a software, not software. What do you call it? It'll cost you money. In other words, it isn't free to be on GeniaNet, to my knowledge. Okay, The Land Between: A History of Slovenia by Otto Luther is a good book in English on the history of Slovenia. Okay. I think we should probably have something, maybe we do on our website, of some of the best books to read. Okay, Matricula has separate books for, yes, that's correct. They have separate books. Pat, thank you very much. Great information. Good. Thank you. Frank, an example of a town names being different. Onek was once also known as Honig and Wernig. Yes, and if you pronounce them Onek in the German alphabet, that's exactly what it says. But you'd say that isn't my name. I know we had that with the name Macek. And it wasn't until an exchange student told us, oh, this is your name right here. But we had no idea when we were looking in a status animatum who it was. Okay, I've found great-grandparents in census records and some church records through family search. What other records would matriculation have? I don't know if you have seen in the family search the actual books. I have not done that myself at this point. I can't answer that for you. I just think that the matricula would be the place to go because those are the official records. Matricula might have more books available for the parish than Family Search has, and the scans may be better. They might have more books available for the parish than Family Search has, and the scans may be better. Okay, yes, I would agree. Oh, Marty. Hi, Marty. I remember you from a long time ago, a couple of our trips that you and your family took. Okay, yes, that is true. Okay, Catherine, thank you. Always looking for better scans. Okay. And that's the end of it. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us today in our first forum. And I know I answered a lot of questions that didn't really relate too much to matricula, but that's okay. The more you learn, or the more you hear, the more you learn. And that's what we want to do. We want to help you find your families for sure. It's a very emotional time. It's just something that we Slovenians have in our gut, I guess you can say. Anyhow, you guys have a great evening, and it's been wonderful doing this for you, and we will have more in the coming months. Thank you very much.